Okay, so this is the how to use FITS video for your digital preservation tool analysis assignment. I'll go ahead and assume that you have been able to download and install FITS, and we'll kind of proceed from there. If you're having trouble with that, I would recommend you go to the quick start documentation that I have in the assignment description for your digital preservation tool analysis, and there's some instructions about how to download and install FITS. Okay, so a really helpful thing to do is to first of all create a folder with the records that you're going to be using for this assignment. So here's my record set, all nice and tidy in one spot. And another thing that you want to do is create a folder that the metadata that FITS creates will be put in. So I named my folder output. You might name it something like metadata or XML. One recommendation that I'll make is to make sure that your folder titles don't have any spaces in them. So I have a record set of all one word, and then just output, which is one word, because it seems like the command line is pretty particular about all that. So speaking of command line, you do use the command line application for FITS. So if you go into your search here in Windows, it's located usually in the toolbar down here, or if you press start, you should be able to find it. I'm not sure if you're using a Mac, but you should be able to find it somewhere. So you click on that, and then I already have command prompt here because I've been working with it, but you just type CMD and it will bring up the command prompt and you'll be ready to go. Okay. So the first thing that you have to do is to direct your command prompt to the folder that FITS is in. So I'll go to my desktop, click on the folder that FITS is in, not your record set folder, but the folder that FITS is in, copy that, and then do CD space, and then paste the directory path for my FITS folder. So I'll press enter, and this will be different depending on where you put your folder, but it should say FITS-1.5.0. So that way you know that you are in your FITS folder. Okay, so in order to start FITS, you type fits.bat, and that gets FITS running. So this brings up a few different options that you can do when you're working with FITS. The ones that we'll be using are -I, which is your input file or directory, and then -O, which is your output directory. Okay, so what you'll want to do next is type fits.bat and then space, and then minus, and then I. And so this is indicating the FITS that you are going to designate which folder you want the input to come from. So which folder your records are in. So what I'll do is I'll go back to my record set folder here, and then I'm just going to copy and paste. You can retype it if you want, but obviously copying and pasting is much easier. Okay. So then I'm going to cut and paste the name of my record set folder. So this is telling FITS where to look for the files that I want to run through FITS. And then you'll do minus and then lowercase o. And then I want to go into my output folder. And the same as before, I'm going to cut and paste that. So that's all set. And then you go ahead and press enter. So Fitz just start working its magic here, okay? So as you can see, the output folder is populating here with XML documents, which will have the metadata for the different records that I have told Fitz to look at. So it just takes a little bit of time to go through, and I think that's it. Okay, so when you get done, it should go back to saying whatever the folder, and then the Fitz folder. So that's all of the command line stuff. So really, again, you're just using a couple of commands to indicate where your Fitz folder is, to indicate what your input folder is and what your output folder is. And again, you can see those commands here. So minus I and minus O. We won't really worry about the rest of these. So you will see these metadata errors. So error on line 1. I don't really know what's causing that. It might be something with Fitz itself, but it doesn't really impact the XML that you'll see. So just don't worry about it. Okay, so as I mentioned before, that's all of the command line stuff. So you can go ahead and exit out of Fitz, and we'll take a look at some of the metadata that Fitz created. Okay, so we'll look at this first file, which is the metadata for a PDF file. I think it's one of the readings for this course, or maybe another course. I don't remember exactly. But we'll go ahead and click on it. It'll bring up this annoying stuff. Yeah, okay. You can use another application to look at XML files. I'm just gonna go with this one because I don't know. Okay, so this is the metadata that Fitz extracted. So what Fitz does is it uses a few different tools to extract metadata. So really it's a tool that uses other tools to extract metadata that can be associated with a variety of different file types. So it uses Droid, Jove, file utility, EXIF tool, NLNZ metadata extractor, Fidentica, and it also provides you with a little bit of information about these tools. So version 1.4 of Droid, and so on. Now it's important to note that not all of these tools are necessarily going to work with the different types of files that you're using. So a couple of these are tools for AV files, and this is just a PDF, so it's not really going to do anything if I try and use a file that isn't if I try and look at metadata for something that isn't a moving image file. There just isn't any metadata that tool can extract. Okay, so here we have some file information. So Jove is giving us some information about the file here. So giving us some information about the file format. See, these two didn't work because these are tools for moving image files. You get some information about the file name, which is useful. One important thing that you do get is a checksum here. So this is a alphanumerical representation of the different bits in this file, and it's going to be unique to this particular file. So this is a really good thing for Fixity because having this information allows you to know sort of the characteristics of this file. And then if you went in and you did this again, say in a couple of years, and this hashtag was different, then you would know that for some reason the file had changed, and so you would maybe wonder why that happened. So this is a really good tool for fixity and authenticity and being able to show that the record hasn't changed over time. So some of the other stuff that we have here, this says that this is a well-formed file. So that's good to know that this is sort of an authentic PDF. And just some more information about the actual file itself. So a page count is good to know. Looks like some information about the fonts that were used. So that could be useful information for people. And then again, you can see that some of these tools didn't run. This is just telling you how long it took FITS to actually extract metadata, and then it kind of breaks it down by the different tools that were used. Okay, so PDFs are pretty basic files, so you wouldn't expect, a ton of information about them. So something that I didn't mention before was the file path of the file. So again, that might be good to know for authenticity purposes. When the file was created, so that's pretty helpful. And it might say conflict if there are some conflicts between these different times. So whether they're formatted differently or they might have slightly different information, that might be helpful to know as well. This external identifier shows you the droid is saying that this type of file corresponds with a particular format that is in the directory of file formats that droid maintains. So yeah, overall, you're just getting some information about the file, when it was created, this nice checksum, the format of the file, and so on and so forth. So again, pretty basic information because this is a PDF, but information that can be useful over time, especially, as I mentioned, as far as demonstrating fixity and demonstrating at least a certain level of authenticity. Okay, so I won't look at other examples of XML. There is a good resource for learning about the output of puts, the output of FITS in the different resources here. So an overview of FITS processing. So like I talked about, FITS runs a file through all these different tools, and then it creates XML and kind of wraps them into FITS XML, and then you look at the standard XML that is sort of derived from that. So a pretty useful tool, just because it does collect output from a few different tools that archivists use for digital preservation. Okay, so that's FITS. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know, and I hope that you enjoy using FITS and learning more about it and about the different types of metadata that FITS creates.